everyone, it's time for science story time. And today I have a book for you about Dr. Mae Jemison. Now, she's a real person who's an astronaut, who's somebody who's been to outer space. But this book, it takes place a long time before she went to outer space, when she was just a little child, when she was only 5 years old. And this book is called Mae Among the Stars. The author of this book, the person who made up the words, is Rhoda Ahmed, and Stacia Burrington is the illustrator who drew the pictures to go with the words. And this is a picture of Mae out in outer space like she got to do when she was grown up. One day, Mae was working for an assignment for school. She had to go into school the next day and tell everyone in her class what she wanted to be when she grew up. "What will you tell them, Mae?" her mother asked. "I will tell them I want to see the Earth," Mae said. "This is Earth, Mae," her mother said. "We live on Earth. The flowers and the trees and the mountains, that's all Earth." "I know that," Mae said. "I know we live on Earth. What I mean is I want to see Earth from out there." She's pointing at the sky and the moon. She wants to be in outer space and look down on the Earth. "That is a wonderful dream, Mae," her mother said. "Do you really think I can do it?" Mae asked. "Of course you can," her mother said. "If you can dream it, you can believe it. And if you believe it and work hard for it, it can happen." Mae asked her mom to take her to the library. The library is a great place to go, and I hope that soon the library will reopen and we'll all be able to be there together looking at books. Mae went to the library to find books on outer space and on astronauts. And if you want to read about outer space and astronauts or anything else, you grown-up can go on the computer right now and order books and come to the library and pick them up outside. After dinner, Mae drew pictures of space. She looked in her books and she drew some pictures about things that she read about and she saw in her books. And look what else she did. She made herself a pretend rocket ship, and she made herself a pretend space helmet and a pretend spacesuit. Later on, Mae asked her father, "How will I become an astronaut? It seems so hard." And her father said, "Mae, if you can dream it, you can believe in it. And if you believe in it and you work hard for it, it can happen." "But space is so far away," Mae said. Her father said, "It is closer than you think, and you may get to space sooner than you think." They are looking out at a telescope. A telescope makes it easier to see things that are in outer space. It makes things seem closer than they really are. That night, Mae had a happy dream. She was dancing in outer space high above the Earth and looking down on everyone. The next morning, Mae told her parents all about her dream. And then she wanted to tell everyone about her dream. Look, it looks like she's telling her grandma or her great aunt about her dream. And she's telling somebody about her dream in the store. Maybe that's a friend's mommy. Maybe it's an aunt. Maybe it's even her librarian, right? Sometimes I see some of you when I'm out shopping. And she's even telling her dream to the cat because she loves to think about her dream, because every time she thinks about her dream, it makes her happy. Now it's time to tell the class what she wants to be when she grows up. And her teacher, Miss Bell, says, "What does everybody want to be when they grow up? Who wants to be the first to tell us?" And the people in her class say, "I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a football player. I want to be a mommy." And May says, "I want to go to outer space. I want to be an astronaut." And you know what happens? When May says her dream, everyone laughs at her. And her teacher, instead of telling them to not laugh and to respect May's dream, says to May, "May, are you sure you don't want to be a nurse? A nurse would be a good job for someone like you." Poor May. Nobody is taking her dream seriously. She says, "I don't want to be a nurse. I want to be an astronaut." May felt very disappointed. On the way home from school, May was very quiet. She looked out the window. Everything in her world seemed blue and cold. Nothing was like it used to be. When she got home, May started to cry. She said to her mother, "Miss Bell said I can't be an astronaut." "What a silly thing to say," said her mother. "She told me I should be a nurse instead," May said. Her mother wiped away her tears. "My dear May, I hope you didn't believe her." "Of course I believed her," said May. "She's my teacher." And May's mother said, "I'm sorry Miss Bell didn't encourage you. But you know what? You can still be an astronaut. Remember, if you can dream it, you can believe it. And if you believe it and you work hard, it can come true." "Thank you, Mom," said May. "When I get to outer space and I'm up there in outer space, I promise I will wave to you and Daddy." Her mom took her hand and started dancing and said, "Remember, May, if you can dream it, you can believe it. And if you believe it and work hard for it, it can happen." May went on dreaming and believing and working really hard. And guess what? She went to space and waved to her mom and dad down on Earth. The end. Lots of people told May she couldn't be an astronaut. But May knew in her heart that she could. And she just went on dreaming and believing and learning about outer space. And one of the things you do when you're trying to keep hold of your dream and you're trying to keep believing in yourself is sometimes you pretend to be what you want to be when you grow up. And that's what May did in the book. Do you remember when she made a pretend rocket ship and a pretend astronaut outfit for herself? You can do those things, and something else you can make to pretend to be a scientist with is a telescope. Now, do you remember a telescope is something you can stand on Earth and look into outer space at that makes it easier to see what's out there? There are scientists that stay on Earth and learn about outer space called astronomers, and they use telescopes. And May used telescopes while she was learning how to be an astronaut. And if you want to pretend to be an astronaut or an astronomer, you can make yourself a telescope. A telescope is like a long tube, right? So I have a cardboard tube that I like to pretend is a telescope. This had paper towels on it. Some cardboard tubes in my house have tin foil on them or wax paper. You can save any long tube And then you can decorate to make your own telescope. You can decorate it any way you want. You can put aluminum foil on it to make it look like it's really metal. You can use glue and stick little bits of paper on it. Make a collage. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some stickers that I got at the dollar store that are star shaped. Because I like to think that stars go good on a telescope. So I'm just going to take some of my stickers here. I'm going to peel them off. Sometimes that can be tricky. And I'm going to stick them right on my telescope. I'll put on a red star. And a green star. And a blue star. And a yellow star. And then I'm going to stop because I don't want to do this too long and make you bored. But when you're doing it yourself, you can decorate your whole tube. And then you can hold it up and you can look up at the sky at night and see if you can see the moon or stars. Or you can do it indoors and just look at the ceiling and pretend that you're looking at the moon and the stars. And you can say to yourself, when I grow up, I'm going to be a scientist and learn about outer space and maybe go to outer space, because if I can dream it, I can believe it. And if I believe it and work hard for it, it can come true. Bye, everyone. I hope you had fun at Science Story Time. And I will see you again next Friday. Remember, every Friday we put a new Science Story Time video up on YouTube. Bye.